All right, guys, welcome. Game 1 here. We're ready to kick it off today. Again, I'm Breaky CPK. Joining me is Phil, the Thrill of Honcast.com. We are ready to kick this off for NASL Week 1 for the regular season. We have Reason Gaming taking on FnaticMSI here in a best out of 3, as it always is. So, Reason Gaming, of course, on the Legion side, MSI on the Hellborn side. We talked about it in the pregame. You know, this really is going to be a very interesting matchup because both of these teams kind of, coming into this overall event a little bit unknown of where they're truly going to be, although MSI on the higher tier level is still a favorite. But Reason Gaming, they got momentum. They're coming off the victory in their show match over Lion, whereas MSI, they're coming off their loss to Online Kingdom in the show match. So
yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, it has been a while since that happened. That actually happened. Let's see, Reason hasn't played since, Friday? But MSI played on Sunday. So,
yeah.
We'll see if Reason, despite it being basically, it's been a week at this point, so we'll see if they can still carry a little of that momentum from that into this match against FnaticMSI. A win over FnaticMSI would be truly, truly motivating, I'm sure, for them. So yeah,
every match counts. I mean, to that point, obviously, you get the chance to play every other team once, and that's what, again, this is a round-robin format. I call it a regular season format. That's basically what it is. You play every other team once, so you have 7 matches total for the 8-team format. And but for a team like Reason Gaming, again, MSI definitely considered one of the elite teams in this event, and starting off with a victory over them, that no doubt would really get the momentum going. And I'm sure they feel pretty good from that. But MSI, there's a reason why they're up there, so it is going to be very, very difficult for them. And MSI, they too obviously do not want to get off to a slow start, and they're looking for a victory here. And on top of that, again, stressing the point, there is a difference with our point system between a 2-1 victory and a 2-0 victory. You go 2-0, you actually get 2 points. You get a point for each victory and minus point for each loss. So if you go 2-0, you get 2 points. If you go 2-1, then you only get the 1 point.
Yeah.
And obviously then vice versa. So there is a difference, and it makes each and every single game that much more impactful and that much more important. But you look at the game so far here, we got the banning stage just about wrapping up, so let's jump into that. We are looking at Silhouette, Slither, Plague Rider, Hellbringer, Ophelia, Tempest, Torturer, and Pharaoh. Honestly, very solid banning pool here. Nothing really out of question whatsoever. Just all very, very good bans. Of course, MSI, they're definitely a team known for running Slither. Reason Gaming, obviously banning that hero. That could be maybe the curious one, but other than that, really nothing off the wall.
Yeah, another thing that I'd like to bring up here besides the bans that are there is that no one banned Wild Soul in this matchup, and you'll recall, especially at DreamHack Winter when these two teams faced off against one another, Reason forgot to actually leave or put Wild Soul on the ban list, and MSI picked him up immediately and just destroyed with him. Now, Wild Soul not necessarily the end-all be-all that he used to be.
That he was at that time.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who can jungle better than him. There's a lot of people who can really keep him down by just continuing to push towers. You know what I mean? He has great push potential himself, but as far as not letting him get really big and out of control, all you really have to do is just try to end the game before it gets to that point.
Yeah.
So just thought I'd mention that. But, yeah, as the rest of the bans are concerned, again, nothing big really stands out. You see the really powerful jungle heroes, Tempest and Ophelia. Those were banned. And, you already made mention of Slither. And Silhouette, obviously, another very popular hero being that's often played by FnaticMSI, specifically No Tail on that hero. So definitely some heroes that are banned looking out at individual players in this matchup. But that's commonplace with the high competitive scene in Heroes of Newerth.
Yeah, and a couple of heroes left. I mean, really, the other heroes that you may question in terms of that could be banned as well, picked up right away, in fact. Of course, we start off with Myrmidon, actually, for Reason. Now, Myrmidon's kind of interesting, to be honest, because a month or two ago, that would have been no questions asked. That would have been a very powerful pickup. Yeah. But as the game has developed, as strategy has kind of changed around a little bit, Myrmidon not as much as the go-to support as he used to be. Rhapsody has definitely taken a much more effective role. And because of this jungle strategy, Myrmidon, isn't necessarily as great of a two-man lane partner than, say, even something like a Demented Shaman and Andromeda, heroes like that, Rhapsody, that seem to be very, very popular, even like a Nymphora. So An interesting first pick there for Reason Gaming, but we have stressed this as well. You mentioned this, I believe, in our pre-show, talking about Reason Gaming in the first place, where they're also a team that, for whatever reason, they kind of refused, but they just haven't really adapted to the new metagame strategy. They haven't really adapted to the whole jungle style thing, the really aggressive play. They're just a very solid foundation team. They do what they know best, and that's what comes of it, and that's where they get their success from. So, with that Myrmidon pickup, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a tri-lane here from Reason Gaming.
It's definitely possible, but Glacius in general, he can be run in a 2-2-1. Myrmidon, I've already talked about how his skills are a little bit easier to dodge when you run him, in like a 2-2-1 type strategy, because you don't have that for sure lineup for the weed field. But he still can be very devastating, especially if you put him, if you put him to babysit somebody like that Pebbles in the middle lane, if they wanted to do something like that, with Pebbles being able to land the stalagmites, which is a little bit easier to land. You could definitely combine that with Myrmidon's weed field. So we'll see what they decide to do here. It wouldn't surprise me to see them pick up someone like a Gladiator, because they used to run that tri-lane quite a bit. So if they pick up something like that sort, or even
I think an Amun-Ra here would be
I'd love to see an Amun-Ra, but this is the reason we're talking about, so they don't play fun heroes.
They don't play the new hero. Yeah, I know. But
I'm just kidding, but yeah, the following picks there for FnaticMSI, Accursed and Parasite. Now, both heroes that FnaticMSI is very, very fond of running. Accursed, really, we hadn't seen him in the scene for a long time. We always used to see like the Soul Reaper Accursed lane, and especially when Swiftblade was a very popular pick, and that's got to be over a year ago. When
it was a while.
I mean, it's been a long time. But FnaticMSI, they play him very well. They play him more as like an offensive Accursed, where it's about making sure that their heroes are always safe when they're out there attacking and stuff like that, and trying to remove the stuns and stuff like that. So Accursed, very, very powerful hero in the hands of FnaticMSI.
Yeah, so definitely a solid lineup over there on MSI, no doubt, with what they got so far. But how about Reason Gaming? So, you just made that sarcastic comment there about not picking up fun heroes. Well, it's almost as if they heard you. You know what? Reason Gaming is like, here, Phil, we'll pick up Emerald Warden and Dr. Repulsor. Personally, I find especially Dr. very entertaining hero. Emerald Warden, now, she's a hero we just haven't not seen really at all on the competitive scene when it comes to, competitive play here for Heroes and Newerth. So, very interesting pickup there from Reason Gaming. Now, they do have a lot of potential here to, like you said, I'm curious to see if they actually go for a tri-lane strategy with actually maybe even having Glacius and Myrmidon play really a pure roam, or if they do a 2-2-1 setup to take advantage of the jungle strategy being ran here by MSI. But that Emerald Warden, man, he's rated up by Yiftig, definitely he's basically their captain of the team, so standout player in them. Of course, Pebbles being played by Strength being another standout player there. I like those last pickups because, it's kind of the unexpected, and I can't wait to see how they play them.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of options available to them, and that's one of the really strong points of the way that they picked their lineup. They could run a tri-lane Pebbles. They, with perhaps either Dr. Repulsor could be in the side lane, or he could be in the middle lane. I mean, both those heroes, I believe, could probably handle that role, at least right now. But we'll have to see exactly what they do. I really think a 2-2-1 would be very strong, specifically if they're able to get this Pebble some free farm.
Yeah.
That's really probably what they're going to be looking to do here.
Yeah, and talking about getting Pebbles a free farm, that's something they're going to really need from him. They really need to have a strong early game. They need Pebbles. They need Doctor, Emerald Warden for that matter, to get a great start, because FnaticMSI going a little bit different here than what we're used to seeing them run. They're going with the melee agility carry. Dark Lady coming out of nowhere here, coming out of left field with the pickup for MSI, let alone not only MSI, but just a pickup in general. I mean, hell, they got Fresh Pro playing a Curse solo mid currently. They got Parasite ready to deny creep at bottom, and then that's going to leave a Rhapsody Kraken lane. This is something here from FnaticMSI. Definitely going with just a different strategy, and I'm really, really curious to see how it plays out for them, especially that solo Curse. Dark Lady now, it is very interesting that they actually are sending her solo rather than the Kraken now, because Notel playing this Dark Lady, fantastic player. We usually see him mid. He is pretty much the go-to mid player for this team, but obviously a different role here for him. But as we see the lane matchups kind of making out here, Reason Gaming, they're setting up their trial lane up top. So I think it's safe to say FnaticMSI may very likely look to make a very quick move with that Dark Lady. But yeah, how about these picks from MSI's side?
Well, Dark Lady for sure is not a hero that we've seen a lot of recently. She did have a little bit of a comeback, but then she was hit really hard with nerfs.
Yeah.
When she began to really take over the game, she did get a little bit of a boost in the Taint Soul.
Yes, that's true.
So definitely that is going to help a little bit, especially with the mana. I believe that's now a static.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, static 35. So you can actually handle like a lane by yourself if you. Yeah, I mean you see already getting the last hit right there using the Taint Soul. So she can handle the soul lane and still get a little bit of creep farm. It's very similar to someone like Pharaoh. You know how they would handle that, but it might be in a little bit of trouble. No, she's gonna be fine. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't dislike it, but it is certainly unique, especially that Accursed in the middle lane.
That is
so.
Jeraziah is something a similar hero to Accursed, of course, in the sense that he's a melee heal style hero, and he has a very powerful support ability. Dark Lady continues to take harassment up top. Again, no shocker there. But of course, we see him played solo quite often. Accursed definitely fits into that similar role. With that shield, you see him applying right there, going off with the explosion, doing some spread damage, and, holding his own. So, Fresh Roll playing this Accursed, but, Eris Loco and Dr. Repulsor, that's got to be a tough matchup for the Accursed, obviously, with just being the range versus melee in general. Action at the top lane. Parasite came in, and they set up a gank on a Glacius. Bloodlust go coming out. Stalagmite's going to be used by Pebbles. He's trying to save himself. He will get away, but Parasite coming in for the gank. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, missing kills all over the place. That's Rhapsody actually gets taken out by Emerald Warden, and Myrmidon coming down to the bottom lane. So it ends up being a 1-for-1, but how about that? Parasite being active early on as he really needs to be, especially with the setups, and sure enough, they get the Bloodlust skill up top.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at Pebbles just hit level 2 at the top lane, so Dark Lady, I think, is going to have a really, really nice time up here. We talk a lot about, you were just talking about how he's typically their solo mid. No-Tail is also typically their melee carry player. I mean, you think of Malakin, he's definitely, although his ultimate allows him to go ranged, certainly as he is in the laning phase, he is a melee hero and always did a really great job in the Malakin tri-lane when they used to run that. So not a big surprise to see No-Tail in this Dark Lady. And, just his understanding, his really superior understanding to a lot of people as far as last hitting. Using that Taint Soul should not really be much of a big issue for him. And you can see already leveling up to level 2. Does 90 damage for the cost of 35 mana. That's just a really, really nice creep skip. In fact, Dark Lady might be in a little bit of trouble, but they don't have a Chuck there. Actually, he just used the mana battery, but a little bit too late. So, unfortunately, that probably could have been a kill had they combo that properly.
That's the other great that's the other great thing that a hero like Dark Lady has going for her. Not only that Taint Soul for the last hits, but obviously the charge strikes, able to get away if she happens to get in danger, able to take enough damage and then eventually use it like we saw right there to actually get away. So yeah, I mean, the more we're watching it, the more it actually it's working out. And I mean, 13-0 for Dark Lady. You compare that to Pebbles, 15-3. So Dark Lady's actually keeping up in farm with this Pebbles, which definitely is shocking in itself. And on top of that, she has the level advantage. So this actually is working out pretty damn well for FnaticMSI. You look at the middle lane, again, getting kind of an idea of how the Accursed versus Doctor is going. We got Doctor at 11-4, Accursed 17-8. So Accursed is playing very aggressive. When you're playing in a role like this, that's what you would expect, because he knows that if he just plays very passive, Dr. Repulsor will just run all over him, take advantage of that, and just constantly pound into him with auto attacks. But if Accursed plays aggressive himself, applies that shield to him, kind of charges at him, that's one of the most annoyingest things to deal with in the laning phase. Going up in the Curse that just charges at you with the shield. You're like, wait a second, so I can attack you, but if I do that, then I'm just going to get a lot of return damage, and you're not going to take any.
Race here, by the way, at the middle
there's a race to the bottom rune. Double damage. Can Dr. Repulsor get there first? He He's not even going to try to use. There's a pull-in, actually. Oh, it might be enough. Oh, the hero block. Yes, he does bottle it up. And now Dr. Repulsor going to go 1 versus 1 with this Curse. Curse already using the shield. He is not level 6 yet. Neither is Dr. Repulsor, though. And it looks like a Curse is actually going to get away. But wow, that was a hell of a hero block. And a great get of the rune right there from Eris Loco playing that Dr. Repulsor.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, Kraken in the meantime at the bottom lane. Disco in front of the chart. Not going to be enough. They get that kill. Yiftig on Emerald Warden gets the kill right there. I believe that was a Hunter's Command, or maybe it was a silencing shot actually with the kill shot. But a good combination right there. A nice weed field landed as well.
Either way, they're both pretty OP. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. Obviously, I made a mention that when she first came out. Not a huge fan of the heroes where you can just spam abilities and get kills as a result of it. It's a very pub-style hero, but top lane now. Pebbles gets charge strikes on. Stalagmite's used, though, minimizing the damage, trying to get away right here. Glacius doing some hero blocking, and it looks like it is going to be enough to actually save Pebbles. So, good fight back right there. Reason Gaming has a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, Reason's doing a great job so far, especially at the bottom lane. I mean, I'm going to take a look at the creep score right now. Actually, not doing that great when you take a look at the creep score. 15-4. Emerald Warden up against a 20-1 Kraken. So Kraken is having a better time down here, although he does have that death to his name. So when you look at the GPM, it is a little bit in favor. Rhapsody just standing still, not sure what was going on there. Nova will end up being caught out, so Myrmidon going to pick up a kill right there. Very, very nice. I'm not sure exactly what happened right there.
Well, that was Myrmidon just going to do a sneak attack right there. Being a stealthy Myrmidon, was hiding off next to the outpost. And obviously both Kraken and Rhapsody started to push up, not realizing where he was. He came out, landed a very nice weed field. It was just simply at the perfect timing because Rhapsody was completely unexpecting it, so she didn't even attempt to move, it seemed like, and got caught. The Magic Car followed, and even the Hunter's Command came out as well. Dr. Pulse in the meantime always going to have to use the ulti to pick up the haste turn, use it right away, and now will he go to the bottom lane with it for a gank, or is he going to kind of sit right here? He's using the bottle charges as he was low on life. Meanwhile, at the top lane, Noted a lot of trouble charging strikes, going to try to get away. One more attack from Glacius. No, it's not going to be in range. She will be fine. Meanwhile, back to the bottom rune. It is going to be controlled by Doctor. He will get away with the haste activated again, and what's done is done. So no kills happening through all of that, but wow, Doctor Repulsor nearly going down, as well as Dark Lady. One auto attack away from death, but she manages to stay alive, and however, she will have to fall back to base. So Reason Gaming, though, I mean, they definitely got some very positive things going for them right now, including this Pebbles, who is now up to 303 gold per minute as the top farm in the game. So always nice to see that for your team. It looks like he is going to early Ring of Sorcery. That seems to be a very popular pickup ever since the buff to it, in the sense where it's drastically reduced in cost. It's been reduced several times. Finally, now it's, I think it's, what is it? It's 800 plus, so it's around
it's like 1374
yeah,
or something
it's
like
pretty
that.
damn
I don't
cheap.
know what
so
it is anymore, but yeah.
Strength B though on Pebbles, he looks like he's going for that, and you know, definitely could have. He actually does have enough money for the Pickled Brain, so it's just a matter if he wants to purchase it right here.
1385.
1385, so okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, that seems to be a popular item pickup though lately for heroes like this.
Yeah, no, it's certainly risen a lot in popularity from where it was before, when it was about 1,700 gold to buy it, and people were just. After Blood Chalice came out, there was really never any reason. There might be a little bit of action at the top lane, but Parasite's going to choose to go back to his own jungle. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Rhapsody barely escaping. Right now, Kraken, you saw her.
The wolf. Yes, it's going to take her out. I love it. The weed field. Look at that. Release the Kraken use right there by Kraken. I'm not sure if that was necessary. Maybe he was expecting Myrmidon to waveform in. I guess that was very likely, but Myrmidon chose not to. But that's the wolf. What is it even called? The Master Command, I think. Yeah, or Hunter's Command. Yeah, the wolves coming up from Emerald Warden. That's what it does. It doesn't even need vision, for Christ's sake. You just press the button, and as long as you're in range, it'll chase them down, do the damage. And we saw right there how great it can be for getting the sure kill.
Yeah, they're doing a really great job down here. Emerald Warden is, you know, they're netting kills. They're picking on this Rhapsody. You look at her GPM. 33 gold per minute right now, 0-3. She's just doing an absolutely terrible job. Even Glacius is at least at 65 gold per minute and is only 0-1. So I think, though, the big difference here is going to be that Dark Lady is continuing to get those solid levels and continuing to just really have an overall solid farm despite being in a 2 versus 1 situation. I mean, you look at her gold per minute, she's almost at 300 gold per minute being 2 versus 1 as a melee hero.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I mean, No-Tail's doing a superb job at that top lane, excuse me, no doubt. And that definitely is a saving grace here for MSI. I'm really curious to see how Curse builds now, too. Again, going back to the Jeremiah, because he is very similar in the sense we've seen him solo. a lot of those Jeremiah players, they never really go for a carry Xayah style build, which we love to label it as, but in the sense that, you know, perhaps going for more damage-focused items or more items that allow you to take over the game as an individual hero rather than just being that team support hero. But they tend to play more than team support hero roles, stuff like Astrolabe, you know, Ring of Sorcery, Barrier Idol, even whatever is necessary for the situation. So I really am curious to see if this Accursed, who has a similar ability in the sense with this Seer, how the more you'll just pound into players, not only increasing the attack speed but slowing them down. So what will he decide to go for as a result of that? He did just purchase something.
Well, Ring of Sorcery.
What's the Ring of Sorcery?
Yeah.
Okay, so not a
Portal
big shock
key on
there.
Pebbles, BT dubs.
He just picked. So he actually picks up the Amulet of the Exile for the extra mana. Doesn't finish the Ring of Sorcery, instead goes straight for the Portal key. And if No-Tell, he probably not aware of it just yet. I don't think he's actually seen Pebbles, so he's kind of just he needs to be careful though, because if he pushes up a little bit too far, but in comes Parasite, actually the Skeleton command using that trap right there, but there comes a return from Pebbles trying to scare them off, and he will take a Taint Soul as well. So on a double, Parasite with that face sack trying to do maximum damage, but Dr. Repulsor coming out of nowhere. Oh, that Glacial downpour, and Parasite will explode into thin air. Dark Lady, nothing she could do right there other than kind of just sit back and say, we'll see you, bro. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Accursed with a haste rune charging in. Well, does he have another Cauterize? Will it be enough for the kills? A question. Nice wait fill attempt. Not going to be enough. Accursed activating the ultimate, healing up Kraken, and will fall back in return. Rhapsody needs to be careful because, yeah, if that wolf came out, you see Accursed even preemptively shielding her just in case. But she will fall back as well. So, but Reason Gaming, man, 6-1 hero kill advantage. They get Dark Lady killed as well while that was happening, actually. So, man, Reason looking good.
Yeah, they're in a very, very nice spot right now. I mean, again, though, wow, Dark Lady went down.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh,
I know
okay,
we were
yeah,
watching the bottom lane while that was happening. She actually got jumped as well.
Wow, yeah, I
Doctor.
didn't hear you say that, but yeah, I mean, I should. I'm sitting right next to you. Yeah, but I was kind of like looking over the stats a little bit and trying to see, you know, what's what. 60 creep score right now for that Pebble, so he really has been doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
He hasn't gotten any kills yet. He's got a couple of assists, but this Emerald Warden at 300 gold per minute has got to be something that, you know, especially with Pebbles already picking up the portal key, and he actually just bought something. I'm not sure if it was
Power supply, I believe. He just
Oh,
finished.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wasn't sure if the Pickle Brain was like going to come up to him or something, but yeah, I mean, now they're really going to have to be careful because the levels, you know, here's the thing. Reason's getting the levels, they're getting the farm.
Yeah.
And they already have a pretty strong mid-game team.
Mm-hmm.
And we are, you know, getting about 5 to 10 minutes away from exiting the laning phase. In fact, we're pretty much getting out of the laning phase right now. And they need to be really, really careful. In fact, Dr. Repulsor using this haste rune, catching up to Parasite. Parasite immediately gets the just immediately turns around. I'm going to say that Fire Shield, not quite enough to save him there. Now going on Glacius. Glacius might be in a little bit of trouble. Does he have time for a leech? He's not even going to need it. He's going to go in there. Oh, nice freeze by Glacius, but end up going to be canceled anyway. Cursed. He's going to be, he's going to use the ultimate right there. So,
yeah.
Unfortunate right there. Kind of a poor choice in target had he actually been able to chuck Parasite instead of actually chucking a Cursed, then that would have for sure been a dead Parasite.
Yeah, that was a dead Parasite, no doubt. But unfortunately, like you said, for Strength B, it just chose the wrong target, and Accursed was easily able to tank it and then survive after the fact. We saw a perfect example right there of how dangerous of a team this Hellborn team has. So, you know, you mentioned Emerald Ward and Pebbles doing great, but Dr. Repulsor, he's doing okay. That death right there obviously slows him down that much more, but it's going to be a very tough game for him because when you think of a hero like Dr. Repulsor, silence just absolutely screws him up. And both Parasite and Dark Lady with those Dark Blades bring that silence ability to the table. So if he's not able to freely port around with his ultimate, it just completely nullifies the hero, of course. That's what Storm Spirit does. That's why he's so good when he's played. You know, he's able to be mobile, he's able to move around, and that's what makes him so good. So, yeah, he's going to be in a lot of trouble in that sense, and we'll see if he's going to be able to manage, you know, something like a Null Stone for that Parasite. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a priority item for him. It doesn't seem like it, at least just yet. He's looking to finish his Steam Boots first, getting the stats item as well with the Talisman of the
Dark
Exiles,
Lady.
but Millstone wouldn't be surprised. Top lane, yeah, Dark Lady is going to fall back before too much happens onto her. We saw Pebbles coming up with Glacius. Again, Pebbles is the portal key. Has actually yet to use it, though, effectively at least. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Rhapsody should go down. No, she's using the power supply at the last second. Going to stay alive. Emerald Ward in the meantime trying to trap Kraken. Not going to be enough, though. Kraken is chasing. However, he will fall back as well. A port is coming in, and now Emerald Ward is the one that needs to be careful. Are we going to see release the Kraken? Probably taking a silencing shot. There's Weeful missing, though. Glacius coming in with a freeze. That Glacial downpour, but going to be pulled in. It's going to be enough damage. No, it will not. Glacius has to fall back. Kraken going to charge away, and now Myrmidon's trying to take the damage, but Kraken going back in, back out, back in, back out. A Curse in the meantime just doing what he can to heal up Kraken and ultimately keeping him alive and forcing the Legion team to fall back. While that's going to the top lane again, Dr. Pulsar, the silence. No, he gets the invis off though, and he will be able to retreat to the tower, but as soon as he goes to the top lane, kind of just sees what trouble again that he's going to be in this game, as he had going up against a double silence right there, but barely managing to survive at least.
Yeah, no, and I mean, at the top lane, Pebbles also went down during that transaction at the bottom lane. So, you know, MSI, where it looked like Reason was very strong, 6-1. MSI has now come back 6-4. Dr. Repulsor silenced right now, but oh, Dark Lady, you are in trouble, buddy. As he gets pulled in here by Dr. Repulsor, and yes, No Tail will fall at the top lane. You see Parasite was kind of hanging around there, but really nothing he could do, so no reason to try to sacrifice yourself.
Yeah.
So at this top lane, we'll see if they continue to push up here. Pebble's going to look towards finishing those Steam Boots before actually going to finish the Ring of Sorcery. And, yeah, I mean, as much as MSI is beginning to come back, Reason is still in a pretty good position. As long as they can continue to kind of do what they've been doing best, which is set up kills on those weaker heroes, you know, really pick off, especially if they can pick off Rhapsody and even Dark Lady right now. Now, Accursed is going to be constantly a problem, though, so they're going to have to keep an eye on that. I mean, you talked about how Silence definitely keeps Dr. Repulsor down, but so does Accursed Fire Shield. You know, when he goes in and tries to pull somebody in, that Fire Shield will completely remove that, if you want to call it a debuff, call it a debuff. So, but yeah, Pebble's running into Accursed right here. Not sure what to do. We'll see if he actually... no, he's got the Fire Shield on him. He doesn't want any of that right now.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to go for it, actually. The Weeful will keep him stuck. Can he get the ulti off in time? No, he cannot. A great kill there for the Legion team. So, a Curse being played by No Tail, living life on the edge like he does a lot. Being played by Fresh Folk, Still the same deal. Living life on the edge like he does a lot. Gets taken out again, or gets taken out right there because he was feeling a little bit too confident. But obviously, ever since they changed that, remember, it was a while back now, but they changed it for a Curse now where you have to actually activate it. It no longer goes off by itself. So, perfect case right there of how effective that change truly is, obviously. So, a great kill onto a Curse, and now they're going to try to protect this tower, though, because meantime, Parasite, Dark Lady, and Rhapsody, they're going to try to go for a push. They do have some backup nearby in Kraken, but Kraken going to go off to the jungle and continue to farm over there, trying to maximize the farm. Don't want to waste any downtime, and with just sitting at a lane. But while that's going on, Doctor pushing the middle lane. A Curse supporting in will stop that. The bottom lane also being pushed in, but somebody else supporting down here. That's Parasite. But look at Emerald Warden going in. Pebbles jumping in there as well with the Stalagmites. That trap keeping him in place. That chuck in the air, and that's a dead Parasite. Well played by Emerald Warden. Nice placement of the trap right on top of the Stalagmites. So as soon as the Stalagmites done finished, he got trapped by the trap at first. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, a Curse getting jumped on. Yeah, not too sure what Dr. Repulsor expected to happen there. Cauterized Duke will fall even shorter, but he will fall back to get some regen. But yeah, Dr. Repulsor, don't know if that was the smartest move to jump back in the first place. However, the bottom tower goes down in favor of Reason, and now they have a 9-4 hero kill advantage. 23,000 gold lead, but the experience is practically identical. Now, Emerald Warden, I want to talk about her for a moment because, again, a new hero for us too as well, especially on the competitive scene. She actually chooses to go the Helm of the Black Legion route first. And on top of that, as I was addressing earlier, you know, something like a Nullstone actually tends to be a very popular item pickup for her, not only because of just the nullifying effect in general, but on top of that, being able to have the regen, and she is a hero that, you know, will spam that mana, especially with that Hunter's Command. Doesn't have the greatest intellect pool either, so having that regen is great for her, and so I wouldn't be surprised to see a Nullstone next pickup. But the Helm of the Black Legion, I can understand. I mean, Dark Lady, Kraken, you know, heroes that you want to have survivability against. Parasite, for the matter. I know it's magic damage, but still having that extra life pool definitely makes sense. She actually goes Firebrand, though, instead, so she's going to be going more for a pure DPS single target route, at least for now.
Well, I mean, especially if she turns that into a Frostburn. that gives her a pretty decent stat advantage. And if you can get it early enough on, it definitely is a very, very powerful item, which can be broken up and made into 2 separate great items, which is the Geometer's Bane and Frostwolf Skull. So we saw that bottom tower fall in favor of FnaticMSI, but at the top lane, yet another tower push happening up here. We'll see if any kind of defense is made, but it doesn't look like they're wanting to leave this at all. So they're continuing to push this bottom lane.
Pebbles drops a Rhapsody in the meantime in the middle lane.
Oh, well.
She just got it. No
Rhapsody
shocker there. Bottom lane, though, as you said, though, Emerald Warden had the trap down. Obviously, that's gone now, though, so they've kind of made this into a base race almost. Emerald Warden in a lot of trouble. There goes Releasing Pack, and Dark Lady coming in as well with a Dark Blades. However, Myrmidon, the Glacial downpour. Dr. Repulsor flanked from by Emerald Warden is still alive. That's the helm of the Black Legion coming into play right there. Dark Lady goes down, Kraken will fall, and now Parasite is completely on the run the opposite direction. A Curse going the other way himself. He is low on life, though. The ultimate is already activated. Nice Tundra Blast by Glacius, slowing him down. The Magic of the Wave going to cut him off, and he takes him out. They deny. What was a deny right there? I don't know what I even said it. Anyways, a Curse goes down. What a fight back from Reason right there. They do save the base. They lost the secondary tower, but they fought back. They got several kills. And Emerald Warden, man, how did she stay alive?
Well, I mean, it's like you were talking about. The Helm of the Black Legion gives you a very, very, I mean, plus 300 max health is a huge amount, especially on these really squishy ranged heroes. You take a look, especially at other heroes that she kind of might remind you of. A hero like an Arachna. Definitely Helm of the Black Legion is a very popular pickup on a hero like that. She does need that additional survivability. And, wow, Kraken going to be in a lot of trouble here, and he just gets absolutely annihilated. So now, plus 10 hero kill lead. You look at the stat advantage, 4,500 or gold, 6,000 experience. Reason is in a really, really good place right now.
They're in a very good spot. I mean, this is just looking very good here for Emerald Warden and this Reason Gaming team. And now, I was actually going to mention Emerald Warden too. Remember, with the level 11, she actually grants her a new ability with that ultimate at first, where it actually heals herself. Now, I don't believe she was level 11 in that fight, to be honest. I think she hit it right after. Maybe she was. I wasn't paying full attention to it. But anyways, my point stands that obviously she will get the heal from that. It's a 34.5 second cooldown, so a decent cooldown, but still, this is just burst heals whenever some ganks, or whenever a team collapses on you. Always nice to have, and definitely
plus
something
the move
to keep
speed
in mind. And yeah, of course, granted the move speed as well. We see chucking a Curse right there, getting away. And this is our land, bitch. Get off of it. A Pebble's picking up an Arcana, by the way, so either could be the Spell Shards or the Hellflower route. We'll have to wait and see what he chooses to go for. But yeah, Reason Gaming, as we said, they're coming into this match with some momentum from the last week's show match. Definitely a good, solid victory over Lion in that series. And now here they are, up early on in Game 1, up 14-4 in hero kills. Their farms looking great all across. I mean, yes, Myrmidon and Glacius and only at 150, but hell, that's great for Glacius, to be honest. So definitely all across the board looking good. On the other hand, Noto continues to be the top farm on the Hellborn side. It's not really showing that much, though. I mean, but again, at the same token, Dark Lady is a hero that needs to farm, needs to sit back, needs to get farmed. We've seen Magebane recently in this event, kind of a similar hero in that sense. Kronos as well definitely fits that role. So this is the problem with picking up a hero like a Dark Lady, that she isn't going to be too impactful, unfortunately, in the early to mid game to an extent. And now we see right here, here's a jump on a Dark Lady. This will be a huge go for them. Can she get the charging strikes off? No, she cannot. That's a dead Dark Lady. The Hellborn team, no one could even react to that. Rhapsody, in fact, in the meantime, is counter-warding. So, it's good that she got some counter-ward money right there. But now she needs to be careful as Dr. Repulsor, and actually Pebbles running. Oh, Rhapsody. Nope, they spot her, maybe. There goes Pebbles. Is Doctor going to come in? There's a Disco Inferno. Rhapsody in a lot of trouble now. But this could actually be a pretty good bait right here. Rhapsody will fall. Kraken coming in as he takes a silence, actually. I'm not even sure what that was from, but Parasite now coming in. Face up on a Dr. Repulsor. Here's the support, though, from the Legion team. Cauterize new coming out. That Glacial downpour once again there from Glacius. It's going to be canceled immediately, though. He now has to fall back, but Parasite gets picked up. Pebbles, like golden Pebbles, doing a lot of damage in the background, just pounding in with auto attacks. A lot of people underestimate that damage. Now pounding into a Curse. A Curse will fall. A hat trick picked up by Strike B. Make that a quad kill coming out. Reason Gaming is on fire right now, and they want to take this game here, and they're in a big momentum place to do so.
Wow. Wow. Myrmidon just landed some of the best weed fields I've ever seen. She landed a great one to at least allow Glacius some time to survive. Yes, she was not able to keep Dr. Repulsor from going down. But, you know, she landed a really nice weak field to begin with, and that last one definitely set up 2 kills right there, and a great quad kill going out for Pebbles. He's at 380 gold per minute right now. You look at Emerald Warden, she has 370. I mean, just take a look at the GPM tab in general. The Legion team in a far better position than the Hellborn team right now. Experience per minute, kind of the same story. It's a little bit more even. But definitely, I mean, we're 9,000 experience lead right now. We keep talking about these stats, but at this point in the game, at 25 minutes in the game, a 10,000 experience lead is monumental. Yep. I mean, that is a huge, huge lead.
It is.
So take a look at, oh, wow, so we're going to see a Hellflower.
We're not only on Pebbles, but Dr. Pulso also purchased
a
second one. So that means he's going for a Hellflower. They're going to have 2 Hellflowers in the very near future on 2 heroes that have that jump-in potential. That's going to be dangerous. Well, speaking of dangerous now, Dr. Pulso running into Parasite, but Emerald Warden nearby. You see now the debuff on Emerald Warden. That means their vision is lacking right now. That, of course, is the Dark Lady ultimate, that little swirl above her head, but nothing used from it. That is actually a very powerful and underestimated ultimate, to be honest. It's a very annoying ultimate to deal with, but not able to make much use of it right there. You see it is on cooldown now for Dark Lady, but Dark Lady, oh, what a bait trap right there. Noto once again getting cocky right there, going in a situation he really shouldn't have been in. Went for a dive onto, I believe, it was the Myrmidon, but Pebbles and Glacius were nearby. They completely counter onto him, and they take him out. So FnaticMSI, almost as if they're losing their composure to an extent. They're making some poor plays here. They went with some crazy picks, and, you know, I know a lot of people are going to look at this and say, Fly, he wasn't active for a while. They took some time off as a team. What are they doing? You know, where's that mojo? Where's that, you know, the MSI great picks, never getting outpicked and just playing at a top-tier level? As great as Reason Gaming is doing, I really think a lot of people are going to look at these picks and kind of say, why?
You know, we talked a lot about how, you actually talked about it yesterday, where a lot of times, sometimes in Game 2, you'll see teams go for kind of off-the-wall strategies if they've won Game 1.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times they'll do that in Game 1, too, as well, where they feel like, you know, especially MSI, they're innovators. They really are innovators as far as strategy is concerned.
Definitely.
They've brought a lot of things. You talk about the Pandemonium tri-lane, the Gladiator tri-lane, even the jungle strategy, which I think is kind of split between TDM and MSI as far as who really brought that into the forefront. But at the same time, you know, they are innovators. People always, they see these games and they copy them. You know, if you go into a high-level pub, you know, you go into like the 1900s and you actually play banding pick, all you see is these teams that are trying to copy the strategies they see from teams like FnaticMSI. So, you know, like I said, they are innovators. This strategy, unfortunately, just not working out for them.
Yeah, they are willing to try risky things at times, and more so, it does work out. It's ultimately the point you're getting to, obviously, but in this case, it definitely hasn't been working out in their favor. They're behind as a result of it, 27 minutes in. Definitely not over because they do have a Dark Lady and a very dangerous hero, and she can and will take over the game, but she really needs to get that farm up. You see her, she's finished a Sustainer. Now, a lot of people may look at this and say, she's still really going for a Runed Axe. What is she doing? On a hero like Dark Lady, even if it's later on, you still need that Runed Axe. It combos, it synergizes so well with her Charging Strikes ability. Yeah. She activates those Dark Blades, she Charging Strikes. It's a crap ton of AoE damage, so still no shocker that she is going for that, but to that point, you know, Dark Lady, Shrunken Head, Runed Axe. That's the combination that she's looking for to ultimately be in that very powerful level. By the way, top lane, Parasite gets caught out. You see Glacial Downpour once again. Broadhom, what does the damage tab look like? Broadhom, he's 8% hero damage. That's actually more than 4 to the 5 heroes on the Hellborn side. And speaking of that tab, mind you, Accursed is leading the way at 15%. That isn't too crazy. I mean, for an early game with his shield, with that Cauterize, and with him being a good level because of the solo, he is going to put out a good chunk of damage. But the damage charts definitely going to tell you the story as well when you look at this game. But top tower pushed in by the Legion team. Geometer Bane, as we mentioned, finished on Emerald Warden, as we see right here. Even Tablet, Astrolabe picked up on Glacius. I mean, that's just not good news here for FnaticMSI. Only Trixie, not even going to go up here. Again, it really does feel like MSI, they're not playing this game with as much urgency or as much what we're used to seeing from them in terms of competitive play. And with this being such a big tournament here, such a big match, you want to get off to a good start. It doesn't feel like MSI right now, but I don't want to feel like I'm taking anything away from Reason because they're playing fantastic. They went for some risky picks themselves, and it is working out so far. Meredith, by the way, just gets absolutely comboed down right there. So a good kill onto him, but you know, it is just a Myrmidon after all.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the same as, you know, picking off that Dark Lady like they did at the bottom lane. By the way, No Tail 1-6-1, but still managing about 260 gold per minute, 265, sorry, gold per minute. So
yeah,
he's not doing too bad. And I mean, if MSI can hang in this long enough, you know, they definitely can make something happen. I'm not saying that's 100% over right now, but when you do look at the, you know, at where we're at right now, you have to figure that. There we go. I was going to say you have to figure that Dr. Pulsar is very close to fishing Hellflower, which he just did. And then you take a look. You know, Glacius has an Astrolabe, and Myrmidon has a tablet. So, like, it's usually where, like, one support hero might get okay farm, the other support hero just doesn't get anything. In this case, both support heroes are actually getting pretty solid farm. Meanwhile, you know, we already have gone over Emerald Warden's items. She actually has about 2,400 gold saved up right now, so we'll see what the next item she goes for. Pebbles. Now, another thing that we always talk about, you know, we always talk about the Hellflower, the silence, but the plus 20% damage taken is another thing that we don't always talk about, and it's so key, especially on a hero like Pebbles, who does all magic damage and does a ton of magic damage in a few seconds.
Front, yeah.
Like, it lasts for 5 seconds. Pebbles combo lasts for about 2. And it does like 1,000 damage, you know, in that time frame. In fact, initiation right here, gonna go on Rhapsody. Rhapsody just immediately goes down. A Curse blows the ultimate right away, but Kraken comes in and trying to land something on this Emerald Warden. Emerald Warden, oh, she's just surviving so well. Definitely the ultimate having a little bit of something to do with that, and Glacier is gonna give some great support there to help her get away. But meanwhile, back here, a Curse falls. Parasite just gone. And Kraken will end up falling as well. So, I mean, that was basically that.
Yeah, no, I was. The funny thing about that was that I was having so much trouble following where the fight was because it literally was in 3 different places right there. It was completely spread out. Dark Lady was up here trying to run away from a lone Dr. Pulsar. She ended up dying to that. We had over here, I think it was a Curse. Kraken was diving way beyond here down the middle lane. Like, MSI, it really just seems like that communication's on there. That teamwork that we're so used to seeing from them just is not there. And Reason Gaming, on the other hand, a team that, again, mind you, we give them a lot of criticism in that they're refused to adjust to the strategy. They play a very boring style of game. By the way, nice kill right there on Pebbles, but anyways, the game's over, so holy crap, Reason Gaming will take game 1 and go to 1-0 series lead.